Y376 International Political Economy Final Presentation Part 1. Hi, I'm Brittany Miller. I was born and raised in Carmel, Indiana, and graduated from University High School of Indiana in 2006. I came to Indiana University in the fall of 2006, and as of today I'm a triple major in political science, French, and Spanish. After my year abroad in Madrid, Spain, and Paris, France, my career goals have changed, and I will now be attending the International University of Monaco, attempting my MBA in luxury management, hoping one day to work closely with Rolls-Royce. Here are some of the most important aspects of Y376, from left to right going clockwise the euro. In class we discuss many issues surrounding the controversy of international trade, as well as monetary relief and stability issues. The Monsanto protest photo reiterates the importance of global companies and their effect on the world. Monsanto is currently one of the world's largest biochemical production plants. The globe with the Band-Aid is an editorial image depicting the world's efforts to repair past damage with war and international trade efforts. Another key element in globalization and international economy is the Walton Company Walmart. Here the photo shows its multinational representation in China and the United States' influence on the rest of the world. A second key player in the world's game of monetary gain, OPEC. It's a cartel of 12 countries with a headquarters in Vienna since 1965. According to its statutes, one of the principal goals is the determination of the best means for safeguarding the cartel's interests individually and collectively. Again, starting from the top left corner, the intertwined hands painted as a globe. Here just a metaphoric depiction of globalization and its ultimate goal of peace and equality. Thomas Friedman's The World is Flat 3.0 is the text used in the fall semester of 2009. Its relationship is self-explanatory in that it's the required reading for the course. The communist symbol on top of the American flag is a physical representation of the Cold War and its effects on the economy. This was a time of global fear. The bottom two images represent what the world is facing in terms of power and control. Black gold, or its common name oil, dictate how the world leaders act. A wise man once said that money was the root of all evil, and because of monetary gains, many citizens are not happy with their corrupt governments. Did You Know 4.0 is a response to the educational video clip Did You Know 2.0. Here in the video, in cooperation with The Economist, shows how technology in terms of globalization has changed the face of media and its ability to spread information worldwide. The following interview was conducted December 8, 2009, composed of 10 IU students with above average GPAs. Are we as informed as we think? Y376 International Political Economy Final Presentation Part 2. The Financial and Environmental Impact of Coca-Cola on Global Economy. Just a little background history on the Coca-Cola Company. In May of 1886, Coca-Cola, marketed originally as a medicinal tonic, was invented by Dr. John Pemberton, a pharmacist from Georgia. Asa Chandler later bought the formula for only $2,300, and by the late 1890s, it was one of the most popular American fountain drinks. Fast-forwarding a bit through time, this collage shows the time period-sensitive marketing strategies of the Coca-Cola Company. The extensive marketing budget in 2006 rounded out to be just over $2.5 billion. The exact allocation of funds is undisclosed. Here you can see the evolution of Coca-Cola from the 1950s to present day. And now for impacts. With everything in life, especially multinational companies, not everyone can be pleased all the time. Yet Coca-Cola tries, and it prides itself on making a positive impact on the world. Like mentioned before, the definition of globalization is the peaceful connectivity and interdependence of the world's markets and businesses. The Coca-Cola Company employs over 100,000 people across 200 country borders worldwide. Coca-Cola states that it's battling the impoverished and the unemployed one bottle at a time. Beyond basic job structure, the Coca-Cola Company supports many world organizations benefiting water development and education. Care Kenya tackles underlying causes of poverty so that people can become self-sufficient. In cooperation with Coca-Cola, Care Kenya improves water and environmental sanitation, reduces malnutrition, and helps to increase food security, in addition to delivering emergency aid to survivors of war and natural disasters. The Coca-Cola Company has supported education for more than 100 years, as it is the foundation and key to global socioeconomic development. The Coca-Cola Company states that in Argentina, a 7-year initiative with Cimientos Foundation was established to reduce school desertion and child labor by providing scholarships and educational support to high school students. To date, the Near Future program has contributed to graduation of more than 1,000 students. Egypt, 2008. Coca-Cola donated over $100,000 and invested to help build 6 new schools for girls in various rural areas. To date, more than 125 girls are receiving education in these schools. These women can later use their academic skills to teach others and start a trend to lower unemployment and reduce national poverty. As noted, poverty is prevented with education. The Coca-Cola Company has instituted a workplace environment improvement initiative. In El Salvador, they are currently working to improve workplace conditions by supporting a multi-stakeholder approach to child labor issues. Along with bottling partners, Coca-Cola is supporting local efforts to improve compliance through expanded field monitoring and verification. Organizations such as the International Labor Organization, the El Salvadorian government, and the El Salvador Sugar Association estimate that nearly 4,600 of 5,000 children originally targeted by the ILO are no longer working in fields. Because globalization extends beyond the workplace, environmental impacts are important as well. In the Coca-Cola Agricultural Commitment Statement, they claim to commit responsible citizenship to the conservation of natural resources, the protection of soil, water, and climate required to sustain life on Earth. The Coca-Cola Bottling Company is one of the world's top buyers of sugar, citrus juice, and coffee from around the world, promoting international trade and relying on those outside sources. In addition to environmental promises and educational funds, Coca-Cola teamed up with the International Coastal Cleanup. The ICC engages people from over 100 countries to remove garbage from the world's beaches and waterways, to identify the sources of trash, and to challenge them to change behaviors. Coca-Cola is making an effort to teach others that they are bigger and part of a whole. Please take a moment to read over the global charitable contribution chart listed here. As much as Coca-Cola claims it does good things for the environment, the international economy, and better equipping children for the future, there are people that feel the opposite. There is a lawsuit in process filed in 2001 by the United States Steelworkers of America on behalf of the Colombian Trade Union that states that Coca-Cola bottlers contracted with otherwise directed paramilitary security forces that utilized extreme violence and murdered, tortured, and unlawfully detained otherwise silenced trade union leaders. In 2003, the Center for Science and Environment said wastewaters produced by the manufacturer Coca-Cola contain toxins including lindane, DDT, and other harmful pesticides. Said chemicals can contribute to cancer and break down the immune system. Tested products included Coca-Cola Classic and other several sodas. The CSE found that the Indian produced 30 times the level of pesticide residues permitted under the European Union regulations. Interestingly enough, the CSE said that it had tested the same products on U.S. grounds and found no such residues. Anti-globalization organizations claim that Coca-Cola is defining the process of exploiting economically weak countries by connecting the economies of the world, forcing dependence on and ultimately servitude toward the Western capitalist machine. A short excerpt from Coca-Cola Water Crimes. A soft drinks company set up by Coca-Cola in this small town in India 3 years ago has sucked local aquifers dry. The Coke-induced water scarcity has hit the indigenous peoples and oppressed caste systems the worst. The people of Pashimana have seen their wells dry out, even as truckloads of soft drinks make their way from factory to distant markets. Complaints and requests to the company and the government were futile. On April 22nd, faced with the prospect of a summer without water, the indigenous peoples began an indefinite strike outside the factory gates demanding its closure. After numerous confrontations with the police, on June 9th, the police finally acted in open favor of the Coca-Cola Company by arresting 130 peaceful protesters, including 30 women and 9 children. Here, a short documentary on Coca-Cola's exploitation of third world nations' desires for incorporation and globalization. A Coca-Cola representative is quoted in saying, "We are not the problem," says Rajiv Singh. "There are simply too many other people living here who are wasteful with water." In the end, the argument for or against globalization is subjective. There are further claims of stolen land and ownership issues, and surely thousands of other complaints. But the Coca-Cola Company still remains one of the world's largest multinational companies today. They have taken one step for beverages and one giant leap for development. And with development comes a price. Sometimes that price is boycotts and protests, and other times it's new schools and fresh water spouts. You decide.